Well, Bennett Kessler filed this report. With a crowded boardroom and many senior citizens who spoke up to keep their lunch program, the Inyo supervisors listened and made no decisions on Tuesday. Comments by the board indicated they will look for ways to cut or raise revenue, but will try to maintain as much service as possible. Joy Wilson of Lone Pine started out the discussion by calling funding of the meals program, quote, a matter of conscience and priority, end quote. Wilson told the board they were trying to resolve their budget deficit from wrong priorities. Rachel Lober of Bishop said many wonder if the supervisors would consider trying to save money in places besides the dumps and senior programs. She said a hot, prepared meal every day is very important. Kathy Barnes of Independence said for some the senior lunch is, quote, the only balanced meal of the day, end quote. The delivery of meals, she said, provides a warm smile and a safety check. Barnes pointed to the factor many have complained about when she said, ask yourselves why you gave employees raises with no way to fund those raises without cutting essential services, end quote. The county administrator and the Inyo board had supported what they called equity adjustments for a number of employees who got between 5 and 30% in raises equaling $650,000. Now, on top of all that, all employees received cost of living pay hikes totaling nearly $2 million. With no money to pay for much of this, officials began what they call service redesign. Now, the senior program has fallen into that. Denise Muniz, full-time cook for the senior meals in Lone Pine, asked the board not to be hasty about their decisions to cut the program that gives seniors, quote, the most balanced meal of the day and personal contact, end quote. Her assistant, Mo Monroe, said if the county cannot raise the revenue to keep the program whole, she hoped cuts would be made in little, teeny, tiny baby steps. She advised continuing to eat the deficit until the county sees how it goes. Several others spoke of the importance of the program and the need to subsidize it. Health and Human Services Director Gene Turner had said that the county's senior services program called IC Gold amounts to around $600,000. Now, those dollars pay for meals, delivery, and in-home services. Turner said in addition to that money, state and federal governments provide funds, but those dollars have dropped by nearly $500,000 in the last 6 years. Turner added a piece of good news that her department will hire a registered nurse to do assessments for those who need in-home services. Now, she also laid out options for what to do with the meals program. The extreme choices were to keep everything as it is versus eliminating the programs altogether. She said numbers of meals could be reduced, and so could numbers of days of delivery. Use of the jail kitchen instead of the senior kitchen is an option, but the jail would have to hire an additional cook. Turner said use of a food vendor would likely not save any money. She said labor is the biggest cost, and reduction of full-time cooks to part-time could lead to substantial savings. Now, that would also reduce numbers of meals provided. Now, more than one person mentioned that Inyo County supports seniors per capita better than any other county in the state, but that still left the question, would the county continue to do so? Supervisor Mark Tilleman said he did not think senior services were in jeopardy. Supervisor Matt Kingsley, celebrating his birthday today, said the board is in a tough spot to, quote, provide services and balance the budget, end quote. Supervisor Linda Arcularia said, quote, hard times make us look at how to do better. We only have so much money, end quote. Supervisor Jeff Griffiths said from the public turnout, it's evident the programs are, quote, incredibly important, end quote. He advised being creative to keep the programs going, and Supervisor Rick Pucci favored changes in the baby steps brought up earlier. Now, Director Turner heard from the board that they want the same service for less money. They want more cost information and ideas about charging some for the meals. Now, inexplicably, County Administrator Kevin Caruncio pointed out that the $600,000 senior budget is the cost of 4 sheriff's deputies. He said the county is not picking on the dumps or senior citizens. Turner will come back to the board with more analysis and information for a later workshop. And last month, Judge Stan Eller issued an order for Mono County to reinstate terminated employee Dick Lumen with all pay and benefits with interest. Instead, Mono County has now filed a notice of appeal of Judge Eller's order. Now, the notice filed by the Mono County Counsel's office does not say on what grounds the county will appeal Judge Eller's order regarding Lumen. The judge had also ordered that Mr. Lumen be given a new penalty hearing that would result in something less than termination. Apparently, that will not happen either as the county pursues an appeal. There's more background on this story that we've covered several times on our website, sierrawave.net. Well, a great spot in the Eastern Sierra will open for the summer on Friday. That's the Hayden Cabin Mammoth Museum. Rob Gill talked with Bill Saucer.
Hi, this is Rob Gill with Sierra Wave Television, standing here at the Hayden Cabin, where history reopens this weekend. I talked to the president of the Historical Society, Bill Saucer, to learn what the Hayden Cabin is all about.
The Hayden Cabin was built by Emmett Hayden, map maker to the Eastern Sierras. He hand cut all the logs up in the Dead Man area, and then he hauled them here behind his old touring car and cured them and stacked them year by year in the cabin. Took him 10 years. This was part of a summer homes tract built here in the 20s that the Forest Service gave permits for. Emmett was the map maker. He did all the old maps that you see around the area, showing the area. He was the first to push tourism. He actually ran a hunting and fishing lodge, if you will, out of the cabin here. One of our largest sources of income is the wedding parties that come and use the property. So we welcome that. We can only run through the donations of the people who come out and donate to the cause, if you will, including wedding parties and birthday parties and other such gatherings and events. The official opening is Saturday of Memorial Day weekend. However, we are hosting, the board members will be here Friday afternoon at 5 o'clock if you'd care to come down and join us for a glass of wine to celebrate this year's opening of the museum. It is open from 10 to 6. From Memorial Day through the last weekend in September every year.
Boy, the Hayden Cabin Mammoth Museum is a truly wonderful place. My brother Spike and his wife Deb married there, and everybody had a great time, so we hope you check that out. We'll be back with a weather report.